Hi, this is Keith with How to Build Your Own Home, and I'm going to be talking today about taking out these three massive picture frame windows and replacing them with a large open slider. Not only have open spaces been the design for homes for the past, 15, 20 years, but they're adding that open space to the outdoor living area. So rather than a single door over here around the wall, we're going to actually put large sliders in. Now, a couple things I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with lead time issues. And when I talk about quality, time, and cost, time is that major factor where there's a lead time issue. So that window is coming tomorrow. I didn't want to gut this and pull these out and then everything be exposed to the inside. I wanted to time it. This is really, really rough. So I've got framers coming this afternoon. We're literally going to pull all these windows out. But I also have one more thing coming, my engineer. I don't like to do anything that's structural like this without an engineer giving me approval or the design specs on exactly what to do. A couple of things I've been wrestling with. My engineer, he was worried about these here are structural. So they're actually supporting the header up above, which we'll talk about in just a second. But he was worried about if he disperses all that weight to the far corners, he was worried about the foundation not being supportive. And I told him this is the exterior foundation of the home. And he was thinking about maybe having me dig down, 2 foot by 2 foot section and putting in new foundation piers. And I said, no, we don't need to do that, Jeff. He's my engineer. Let's just do additional king studs. So what we'll end up doing is we'll pull all this out. And if you notice here, I've only got one stud right here. You can't quite tell, but it's right here, going all the way and landing over here. So what we'll do is we'll take that header, which we'll talk about in a second, and we're going to continue it past here, and we'll have three supporting studs on this. And as a result, that dissipates my foundation at the bottom. So rather than having one stud, or even just two, so getting pressure down on the foundation, we're going to extend that up to three, possibly even four. You may end up going four. The advantage of that is I disperse the foundation and I'm not necessarily having to dig down. I didn't want to dig down and create a big spot footing, cutting all the rebar, making a mess of everything. So there was a better way to do that. So I'm waiting for that letter to come. Now, a couple of things. When you're going to take out a wall like this and all these supporting structures, if you notice up here, this here is a king stud that goes all the way up to the top plate of the roof here, right up here. And then I've got, looks like they're 12s, 12 and a half, 2x12s, 2x12s going from here all the way over to here. And I would have, if I framed this, I would have just put a header all the way across that whole darn thing. That way it allows for the opportunity to do what I'm going to do, is to gut it and install a big huge slider on here. But they weren't thinking like that. And this is something that I would suggest. If you think that you'd ever want to replace windows like this and put in a nice slider, we're going to have a 8-foot sliding open window right in here, so it's completely open to the living room. So you can literally walk right out there and enjoy a nice summer evening or early spring day and have that fresh air come inside. If you think that's the case, then when they frame that, just put the whole header over the entire top. We've got a header outside, 2 LVLs 18 inches high, and that's going to go up to right there. And as a result, that's going to be the supporting structure for the roof up above. And I didn't have the plans from my engineer. He asked for the plans. I don't have the plans. I told him that there's a tile roof on there, and I know that's about 840 pounds per square, which is a 10 by 10 section. So he factors that into the weight. I gave him some pictures of the rafters on the inside and some pictures on the outside, so he can give a really good estimate of the weight that we're going to bear on that header up above. But we'll go above and beyond really what we really need with the structure of that. But again, I'm using my engineer to do that. He's going to tell me what to do. If I make a guess, even if I think I'm overestimating on my guess, but I'm still short, and we have cracking in foundation and all that kind of issues, then it's on me. So I have to follow what my engineer is going to tell me to do. Now, a lot of framers know those calculations, and so they can tell you what they need to do. but my framers don't have that. They actually go off of plans, and so I do too. So that's just the way I go about stuff. Anyway, things I'm dealing with. The other thing I'm dealing with is I've got electrical right here, and I've got electrical right here. Now, I don't know if one of those is a dead end or if they feed both directions. I don't know. I was an electrician for a while. My logic tells me that that might be a dead end, and this may be daisy chained to that wire right here, and it may continue all the way around to connect all those plugs behind there. If that's the case, that's going to work out great. If that's not the case, then I really have to cut those and take new wiring up and over. Now I'll have about 8 inches of clearance from the top of that new header, which is out in the trailer. And if I have that clearance, I can run that pipe, that electrical, all the way up through that clearance. If not, I've got to go up in the attic, run it over in the attic to make the connections, because I've got switches over here and power over on the wall over there and power over here. So things I'm dealing with. But timing is the issue, making sure that they can get it gutted, get it framed, just in time for them to install it, so this house is not open to the elements and open to uncertainties for an extended period of time. So that's what I'm dealing with. I don't take on remodels very often. I'm mostly a new construction person. The only way I do take on remodels is if the people are not living in here. So if they're not living here, then I'll take them on. I've remodeled when people living in homes. I don't do that anymore. That was a long time ago. Just a little tip on what I'm dealing with the remodel, and I'll give you some pictures and updates when we get this whole window installed. Just some thoughts I go through, and things if you're getting ready to frame your home and you've got a big open area like this with a lot of windows, think in terms of getting that whole header in place now, so you never have to do what I'm going to have to do, is reframe this whole thing to accommodate for what I'm going to install tomorrow. This is Keith with How to Build Your Own Home. You guys take care.